Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review, and this time we'll be discussing the 1973 baseball film, Bang the Drum Slowly. This stars Michael Moriarty, Robert DiNero, it has Richard Cortina, and it has you can see Danny Aiello in the film as well. And what I found out was there was an actual TV production of this film starring Paul Newman in the Michael Moriarty character, played Henry Wiggins. But which I didn't know was a live production. But so 20 years later, in 1973, they made a full, big screen film version. And I think this movie was either the very first film that Robert DiNero stars. I'm not exactly 100% sure on it. If any of you out there are sure of it, please comment on. I believe this is the first film that Robert DiNero stars in. And of course, Bang the Drum Slowly is about the story of two baseball players playing on the fictional New York team, called the New York Mariners. And Michael Moriarty plays Henry Wiggins, who's the best pitcher on the team. For some reason, throughout the whole film, everybody calls him Arthur. I don't know why, but the actual name is Henry Wiggins, and everybody calls him Arthur. And Robert DiNero plays his catcher. His name is Bruce Pearson, and the character is basically an idiot. He's not a very smart person. He didn't really catch it. Well, as the movie starts off, they're leaving the famous Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, and they found out that the Robert De Niro character is dying of cancer. He has Hodgkin's disease, and he could, die in any minute. And for some reason, the Henry Wiggins character decides to fight to keep Bruce on the team, because give him one last chance in the major leagues, at least send him off when he does die. At least let excuse me. At least let him do something before he dies. At least let him play baseball. At least let him do something that he knows before he dies. But first, the management wants to get rid of him because they had too many catchers on the team. And I figured that Pearson, who has average skills as a player, he doesn't have a high batting average, doesn't have a lot of home runs. He wasn't a great player, but they have this young catcher that they want to bring up. So they have to be able to somebody, they want to get rid of him. But Michael Moriarty fought it and kept him on the team. But throughout the movie, he's making excuses of where they were, what they were doing. And I don't know why he became such an issue in this movie. I mean, to me, it's kind of a distraction. Because he kept it going. Having the Bruce Pearson character have the best year of his career, considering the fact that he's dying. It could have went that way with the story, but they didn't, and they did a sort of distraction thing where Henry's making excuses of where they were. They all spent time in the off season. They went fishing, they went hunting, they went solo, they went here, he was making one or the other to not let the team know that that Bruce is dying of cancer. He was trying to avoid it from the team. But then eventually, Henry does tell the team, tells his players, uh, that, or his teammates, that he's dying of cancer. And he tells one of the other characters, I said, look, I need you to lay off Bruce. Instead of quit ragging on him and let's let the guy be. I said, well, let's do it for fun. And he tells him, look, he's dying. I said, any time? I said, yeah, it could happen any time. I said, well, he could. I mean, Dutch was named the manager. Dutch would cut from the team in a heartbeat. And he said, I know that. That's why you have to keep it quiet. And of course, eventually he gets around to the whole team that this guy is dying of cancer. And then, of course, since Henry Wiggins is giving all these phony stories to the manager, he had a private investigator check it out, and then, of course, eventually the management does find out that Bruce Pearson is dying of cancer. And of course, on the day where they clinched the pennant, or the division anyway, they, he had to retire from the team. He had to leave the team and check himself into the hospital. And of course, Richie did. Of course, he doesn't. At least the version that I have, you don't really see him having a death scene, but he does have a death scene. He does, of course, he does die at the end of the movie. And of course, the last bit of the film was at the cemetery, and Michael Moriarty's character, he narrates throughout the film. And in the last speech he makes, he was a little annoyed over the fact that he was the only one from the team there at Bruce's funeral. No one else from the team showed up. In terms of teammates, there were no teammates. There was nobody from management showed up. Nobody, or not even any flowers or cards from the team. Nothing. And so he was annoyed with that. And then that he was one of the pallbearers, and because he died just after the World Series, Bruce did. And of course, he notes that Henry won the clinching game in the World Series, and he promised to send Bruce a scorecard from the series, but he never did. And of course, it was too late because Bruce died. But which I know I'm not giving it away, but the one thing that I really like about this film is that this film was actually filmed in Shea Stadium, on the baseball scenes. Was shot in Shea Stadium and in the original Yankee Stadium before it was renovated. When it was filmed in 1973, so you see what Yankee Stadium looked like before it was renovated for 2 years, in 74 and in 75. So, which was, pretty good for someone like me who I was like 2 years old when the movie came out. So I grew up with the renovated Yankee Stadium, and to see Yankee Stadium the way it was, and to see Shea Stadium, back then in 1973 Shea Stadium, it was pretty neat to see. So those were where it was filmed. And also look for in the film a guy named Leo Forster, who played Laverne's father, or Penny Marshall's father, in the Laverne and Shirley television show. Also was in this movie. So you had him, you had Diana, you had Richard Gordania, so you had a pretty decent cast for this film. But like I said, it's kind of a depressing movie because you know pretty much what's going to happen at the end of the movie, that Robert DiNero's character does die at the end of this film. But like I said, it's a pretty decent film. and it's one of the few baseball movies that's made in the last 40 some years that does not end with a championship game or a seventh game of a World Series or a pennant clinching game. Like most baseball movies, or most sports movies in general, ends with a championship game. Either a clinching game, either a one game playoff to go to the World Series, like in a natural, or a major league, a divisional playoff game, a one game playoff to decide the divisional title, or a seventh game of a World Series, or some championship game in the end, but not this movie. So that's my review of Bang the Drum Slowly. Please like the videos, please comment on it, and please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.